Welcome to Lighten Up Talk Radio with Michael and Lee. Join us with topics that wake up the connection to your soul. You can listen to us at lightenuptalkradio.com. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Lighten Up Talk Radio. It's Sunday, November 18th, and we're here with Lee and Michael and myself, Michael. How are you all doing today?
Doing great. Wonderful.
We've been dancing here in the studio.
Yes, we have.
Listening to some drumming music, and
I am woke up. We had a person that actually came in today a little late. He always goes into time, so I have to just mention that, so that way he won't be going into time anymore. So this is kind of a scolding for him. We're starting exactly when we're supposed to.
It's spirit time.
There you go.
That is correct.
It might be 9 in the morning, 1 in the afternoon,
whatever.
1 in the morning. You just never know here.
Well, we have been at it all morning.
We've gone through meditation here and cards. It's pulled some cards for ourselves and all kinds of things.
Yes, we have. I slept 3 hours.
They were asleep. They were asleep on the floor when I arrived.
Oh. That must have looked funny. Did it look funny the way we were laying on the floor?
It looked hilarious. I was going to check pulses.
He was in deep meditation.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
We were actually listening to one of our tools on there.
We were. It's wonderful when we put the tools out and listen to them ourselves.
It is. Mm-hmm. Fantastic.
It is that.
So how was your all's week? Mine has been very, very intense with the energies right now. Been very much in the earthly, kind of taking care of earthly things, the closures, and one of the biggest things for me right now that's been coming up, and I think we even talked about this last week, is boundaries and speaking truth and being in truth within self and being willing to, whatever the truth is, to share it with others. And if there's something that you don't agree with, being able to be totally in self enough to speak it. This has really been coming up for me on all levels very strongly this past week. And also, it's also been very powerful to let go of expectations for people. For me, any expectations that I've had is getting just, there's a peace about wherever anyone is in their life experience, whatever challenges they're going through. I don't feel like I have to fix them, or I can just be with it, whatever it is. I was telling somebody this past week that, gosh, I could walk by something pretty extreme and see some tragic event happen, and I could just sit there and just bless it and be okay with it. And it's just, this is the way I felt. I feel like this deep healing is going on, and I know it's universal right now. It's so much more than me, and I'm interested for your all's takes on how you're experiencing it. But it's just been so powerful that it's brought me down into the very much human energy levels, because for a lot of times I operate in the angelic frequencies a lot, and I've been very much out of that this past week, and it's just been an interesting shift, but I feel like it's just started. What about you all?
Go ahead, Michael.
The commonality, you know how when Oma Group is
Yes.
visiting us, how she goes through, or they go through the commonalities. That you just mentioned, Mr. Lott.
The common thread things?
Common thread.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah.
And I think from what we heard earlier, that all three of us have been going through the same thing. Also, I think we talked about responsibility versus accountability before.
Oh.
And I think you just mentioned the perfect scenario for that you were getting spiritually, that you weren't responsible anymore. You didn't have to fix. Excuse me, you didn't have to take care of that wreck on the side of the road. There are other people there. You're accountable in that you send them prayers, send them your love, and send them ask and thank God for the healing. But you're not having to fix them.
That's
so
beautiful.
I think it's a perfect thing of responsibility versus accountability, I think.
I love that.
And it's been a strange week for me, too. It was a revealing week in that I've always wanted Spirit to be with me consciously all the time. And this week it was revealed to me that's always been.
Mm-hmm.
And I started noticing things like I was going to turn right at this fork and something said, no, you need to turn left. So I turned left. I'd always done that, but I'm hearing it more now. Or don't walk out that door, walk out this other door. Don't answer that phone, let somebody else answer it. Things like that, just small things.
Mm-hmm.
And you know the small things are the miracles, the real miracles too. So there's no telling how many miracles, how many times my life's been saved by turning left instead of right, and how many opportunities or where I'm supposed to be spiritually I got to because I went through one door, not the other door. So I think that's happened to me a lot this week. You mentioned another thing, the speaking truth. I've been doing that more this week and setting boundaries. And so I think that's another common thread among us. Just been a great week once I think about it. I look back and see, oh, boy, I was blessed this week. I truly am. What do you think, Miss Lee?
I think it's been a great week. I have just had a lot of freedom. There's been a lot of releasing going on. I have been in a total sleep mode most of the week and up to 14 to 15 hours in a day. But it has been very resourceful because what has happened is that at night, I actually just sit down and watch a little TV, relax before I'm going to bed, that type of thing most of the time. I have just special programs I like to watch every week. And I'm not even getting through it before I'm laying down on this comfortable sofa I have. And I'm waking up like 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. But the whole time that I'm there, it's total energy. It's like when I'm sitting there, it's just like a tornado going around my head. It is just powerful. Total powerful. And when I'm laying down, I can feel the energetic energy just running through. It's just like every piece of my body. Mm-hmm. And then I get up and I go in the bedroom and I lay down. And then I go out in just seconds. I don't even remember even hardly hitting the bed. And here comes the energy again. I have been having a lot of clearing still happening with dreams. The dream state of clearing out everything that I needed to clear out that obviously hasn't cleared, or to show me something of what is going to happen. Yesterday, I was in a dream for 5 hours, the same one. And it was so vivid, I can tell you every piece of it. Of course, we don't have 5 hours for me to discuss all this, but I was asleep, and it just filtered through. I could actually see people on a property. I could actually see how we operated it, exactly how it needed to be put together, exactly where everything was going to be, who was going to be there, and thousands of people walking onto it. I mean, thousands. It was like we were shoulder to shoulder. And I was walking down the center of the actual property that we're going to purchase. And it was like, it was just, you couldn't even move. There were so many people moving through. And it was totally spirit-oriented. Some of them that had already crossed over, that was helping from the other side, as well as the people that was going to be coming from all over the world to be at this place. And it was an amazing moment. I have saw just little, niblets of it, but not in the detail that I saw yesterday.
Would you say that's like a prophetic dream?
It totally was. It was totally that. And to not even go in my head to even think about anything except of what it was going to happen. Very simple, walk the steps, get it done, and everything's wonderful with that. I've had a total peace this week of total releasing everything. A lot of blessings toward family and that type of thing. And I would like to add that last week, whenever we got through with the show, I really needed to be cleared by a certain energy that I had last week with a family member. And I know, Michael, you as well.
Oh, yes.
We both had that going on with us last week, and had the graciousness of the gentleman to the left of me, which is Michael Braswell, to actually be able to orchestrate what needed to happen on that occasion. And after that happened, I got up because it was totally energetic, energy flowing, going there. I'm very visual in my head. Mm-hmm. And actually seeing how that was going to work. And I got up, and I sat up on the table, and the first thing I think that came out of my mouth was, at 11 o'clock tomorrow morning, I'm going to get this phone call. And at 11 o'clock on Monday morning, on the dot, the person that I was just really wanting to release a lot of things with actually called me at 11 o'clock. So the first thing that I did after that, it was a wonderful conversation. It was very loving. And that person has also called me again yesterday. And there had been a little contact, and it, with that individual in the past several months. So it's just been wonderful. And I would like to put out there to our audience that, whenever you get into any type of situations that you're feeling heavy in the heart, or it's just constantly in your head and you can't release it, if you don't have, a person there, such as I'm very fortunate to have with these two men sitting at the table with me, still lay down, rest your mind, and ask. You can do this, and ask Spirit to come in, ask for the help from the angels, ask from God, ask for this to happen, and whomever's supposed to be coming with you will be there with you to do that. And all you need to do is get into your own head and to visualize it and to send the energy for it to switch. And what a blessing that is.
Amen.
And it's kind of like what Michael said a while ago. I always stay in a spirit mode. Very seldom you'll ever see me ever out of that mode, because I truly know that everything you need in your whole life comes from divine order. And when you stay into that energy of divine order, your life will always be exactly the way it's supposed to be, which is perfect for you. And I would like to put that out to everyone. It's not just special people. So many people will look at, at us at this table. I mean, I've heard it. They'll say, oh, well, that's for you, but I don't know how to do this. It's not doing this. Everybody has that. And everybody can ask, and everybody has spirit guides with them, divine order with them, everything with them. We are not special people here. The only thing that the three of us are is very spiritual, loving people that have tapped into our souls to truly know to follow that. And if I could put that message out there to all, that's a pretty simple thing to do, is to concentrate on oneself. And everything falls in its right order.
Beautiful.
Yes.
Now, one more thing I'd like to say while we're here, because Michael, Lott and myself did this before Michael Braswell, and a lot of times, the person that's always the last coming to the show, that's, which we don't really get into time, but he was a few minutes late today. And so we won't even talk about that, because I thought it was kind of humorous when he called me, because I was just really trying to laugh about this, because I thought, okay, I'm going to ask him right here on the show. It's going to just wait.
He left.
No, he's there. He's there. And I would like for you to say what is your top 5 gifts that you have.
Top 5 gifts.
Yes.
I would say number 1's my voice. Number 2's my ability to receive the correct guided imagery meditations to do for any moment. Another is my spiritual gift of healing. And when I say that, God works through me. So I would reword that into being a vessel for God to work through. Mm-hmm. And that covers about 100 gifts right there.
Absolutely.
Another is my ability to see darkness within others, which I really am grateful for that gift. And another is to see light within others.
Right.
And another, I'll add a sixth one.
Go ahead.
Is the ability to irk you by being in human time sometimes. Thank you, Lord, for that gift.
Well, you've got a long way to go if you think you're going to irk me.
I've always believed that when something irks you, or you get irritated at another person for something, there's something that person is mirroring or reflecting about yourself that you need to release. So I'm happy to be able to release whatever timely issue that you have.
The only thing that I need to release at this moment is to look you right in the eyes and say, as long as I'm as enlightened as you are, that I am very blessed.
As I. That goes for you too, Mr. Lott.
Well, thank you.
As Mr. Lott is over there swinging around his chair.
Wow. Ever since, Lee, you were talking about the chords, I feel that we're going to do some sort of meditation here in a little bit.
That's great.
For that type of thing.
You mentioned a while ago, Lee, waking up at 2 or 3 in the morning. When you look at the clock, and you probably don't look at it that detailedly from just coming out of a very lucid dream, but do you remember any times when 222 or 333 were displayed on the clock when you do wake up?
Absolutely.
Okay. And you mentioned that your son, or a person, I forget who you said, called at 11 a.m.
Correct.
11 has some significance with you spiritually. So you might want to meditate on that. Because I got that powerful a while ago when you mentioned that. I'd forgotten 11 was the time, but there's some significance to 11.
Right. Right. And
Well,
I will meditate on that.
Well, it's also interesting that was on 11/11.
It was.
That's true.
That the healing happened.
That's true.
Yes, it was. And 11/11 was a very powerful day.
Yeah.
I felt a very powerful day then. And just to come right out of it and sit straight up and say at 11 o'clock, the telephone is going to ring. So there was definitely the message there. And that's another thing. You just have to listen to yourself a lot of times because it's there. Mm-hmm. And it's just listening to you and opening yourself up to do that. And always remember that you always have helpers at any given time. And they're always there. You're never alone. There's so many people have gone into the mode in this year of, oh, how lonely they are. And I've heard that from a lot, and particularly the elderly people. They just seem to be very lonely. And, you know, you can always find something to do, and you can always work on yourself, and you can always find, you know, if you have to just go next door to a neighbor or just get in the car and just go to Walmart and look around or whatever, you know, don't get stuck in depression. You know, you can lighten all of that up. And I would entertain the idea, particularly this year, of shedding away all the depression-type thoughts that you have. And it's kind of like what I said a while ago, get rid of the ball and chain. Mm. That's a very awakening situation when you can do that. And the only thing that you have to really concentrate on is oneself. And to stay in the energy of loving others.
You know, I think depression is simply put, is the loss of your ability at any given time to feel self-love, love for yourself. And that in itself shuts you down. And when you shut down, you're locked in a space by just yourself and you're not loving yourself, depression will follow immediately. And activities such as you suggested, going out to Walmart, being around people, and just open up to feel, even as difficult as it might or impossible as it might feel at that time for you, open up and see your energy going out like a ripple after a stone's been thrown in water. and let your energy touch those other people and see if you can reacquire that ability to feel part of the oneness, feel that part of Spirit or God within all those other people. And that will erase your depression immediately.
Right. That's great.
Absolutely.
I think as well that, and I've noticed this, that when a person feels like that they're getting older in life, and I think that everybody's young. I don't really think of age. Age is really not an issue with me. Never has been, because I'm always just blessed. But I think that they'll go back in their minds and they say, well, I didn't do this, or I didn't do that. And now I'm too old to do this. I'm too old to do this. You are never too old to do anything that you want to do. And I think depression starts when they start thinking about what the life that they've had. And there's so many things that they're now waking up to that they could have done. And they haven't chosen to do that. Sometimes other people get in their way. Families get in their way, whatever the situation is. But I'd like to put out there, it doesn't make any difference. If you're 110 years old, you still have the ability to go out there and do what you want to do and what you need to do. And don't ever feel like that you're depressed with age. And it seems like that our society is so into age and weight issues that really doesn't mean a whole lot of anything. It's all within you. It's all within you. A person can be totally beautiful on the inside, and people can see it. It really makes no difference about the outward look. It doesn't. Do the best you can do with it, but that's really not any real concern with it, because it's the inner part of the person that's what really is the beautiful part of anybody.
I had a prophetic dream the other night where I was shown my transition date and the time even, and the age. And that was leading me down a path, the human path of rethinking about my past life and things I hadn't done. And it was during that period, I didn't get depressed, but when I was thinking along those lines on Facebook, I saw a quote from Dalai Lama, and then about the same quote from two other very good philosophers, spiritual people. And it said, when you are lying on your deathbed, you won't be thinking about the things you've done. You will be thinking about the things you did not do. So that goes hand in hand with what you said. And when I read those, I said, I'm still young enough to do anything I want to do.
Absolutely.
And with that, any cloud cleared away.
Right. And I would say this in a pretty factual way. You have really woke up in the past 4 months.
I feel that. Thanks.
You really have woke up.
I think we all have.
We have.
In new ways.
Absolutely. All of us.
A lot of new strong energies have been coming in during that period.
Absolutely. 2012 has been exactly what we thought it was going to be. Shed off what you need to shed off and take on what you need to take on. And if you have taken that type of thought pattern about it, how wonderful that it is. And we're not finished yet. And I know you had a couple of things about the 21st that was going to happen. And I'm looking at Michael Lott over here spinning, because he is getting there, and he's holding on to the last second.
See his jaw clenched.
He looks like he's just about to go.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Shall we start?
Absolutely.
I'd just like to, before I let Archangel Michael and the energy of Jesus is here today to work through with this meditation. But it's such an important time to really let go of things that don't serve you anymore. The frustrations, the burdens, the cycles of life that just go over and over again in the different areas of your life that keep you frustrated and anxious, and any type of negative emotions, those cycles of negative emotions, people's experiences, all of those things So before we go off into this meditation, I would like for you all to get in a comfortable position if you're not already. And just to think for a moment, or allow for a moment, a person or relationship or situation in your life that is frustrating you or burdening you right now. I'd like for you to just really go into this space and allow yourself to be with the energies of the situation. And again, it could be any kind of situation that you're dealing with, or a relationship, something that may have even, or may be aggravating you, or irritating you in your life. And you may not understand why this person or this situation is even aggravating you, but it's important that you be totally honest with yourself right now about it, that it is aggravating you, or that there's some discomfort about it. It's so important and freeing to set boundaries in your life, to be able to express your truth. If you have a feeling or a thought that is really the truth about who you are and the way you feel about a situation, it's important that you're able and willing to express it. And what I'm being told that Spirit is going to help us with today is to cut a cord on on whatever the situation is that's in your life, and it's important that you decide that you're ready to do this, that you make the choice right now that you are ready to let go of any energies that are going back and forth, creating your inability to move on. These shared energies, these shared negative emotions between you and this other person or this situation. So please take a moment and choose within your own heart, within your own mind, within your whole body, to release this situation for good, to sever the ties. This doesn't mean to sever the love. This means to sever any of the negative emotions and only those connections going forward. There's a lot of time for family coming up with Thanksgiving and Christmas, and it's a tremendous time for family, and even experiencing possibly some old patterns within the family unit. And this is a wonderful time to release for good of these old cords, these old patterns that are keeping you from being your highest and best self that goes out and serves with your truth and your gifts that were given to you from the Creator, that is working through you. It's time. Children, it is so time to step in to your light and your love. So I'd like for each one of you to just take a moment and tune into your heart space, because many of these chords, as Archangel Michael is here with us, is showing me that you are holding a lot in your heart areas, and some of you in your solar plexus, and some of you in your throat area, your ability to speak your truth. And dear ones, there's a beautiful pink light that's descending down around you and this other person and this other situation. Pink is a beautiful light of love and compassion and understanding and protection. I'd like for you to just feel and imagine this light just completely surrounding you, your heart, helping you to tune and anchor into the compassion within this situation in your life, this relationship. And with your intentions, you have the ability to stop the drain that you are sharing within this situation or relationship. This is your opportunity to sever the tie. And all you have to do is say that it's done. And it will be done. And you can do it at any time that you feel a pull from someone else back and forth in a situation is typically evidence that you have an energy drain or cord going to some situation. And Archangel Michael is stepping forward in front of you. And he's asking me to ask you to hand your cord over to him. Hand your frustrations over to him. Just feel and imagine, and even if you feel inspired, take your hands and give your burden and hand your cord over to Archangel Michael and say, I'm ready. I'm ready to do this. I'm ready to stop the cycle of this energy, old energy. And by doing this, you're going to allow yourself to open up to more love than you felt before. So on the count of 3, Archangel Michael's going to cut this cord for you. So let's take a nice deep breath together. And one more time, bring this person or situation into your mind, into your heart, and say, I release you. I set you free, and I set myself free. I forgive you, and I forgive me, because we are one. And on the count of 3, Archangel Michael is going to cut this cord. 1, 2, and 3. And so it is. With his beautiful sword of light, he has, with your permission and your guidance, cut this cord. And now you can imagine this energy of the Christ consciousness flowing into your heart, into your body, mind, and spirit, wherever that part of you was taken up by the part of someone else. And this energy, allow it to fill your space with the healing energies of divine love, to where you can totally and completely bring that part of you back into your being, back into your physical being. And so it is. And at any time, you can go through this process on your own, or listen to this again. It is that simple. And go forward into these holiday weeks and months ahead with this clear ability and knowledge to sever the old energies and make room for your true self, your free self, your love, both to give and to receive. And so it is. Thank you. Wow, y'all, I'm going to have to listen to that one again.
That was beautiful.
Way out there.
Mm-hmm.
Whew.
I didn't sever one. I severed about 15 cords. About everybody in my whole life I can ever remember having an issue with, one at a time, came in.
Wow.
And each chakra, all my chakras came in and joined, and then one big energy cord went out everywhere. So when it was cut, all my chakras were healed.
Oh, that's
It
beautiful.
was, wow, that was very beautiful.
It's wonderful, the angels, and I know Michael Braswell did a beautiful cord cutting ceremony for us last Friday or Sunday. I'm still having the space, and it's so important. And Lee, you said this earlier before. If you're feeling pressured or overwhelmed, or that irritation festers and continues, there's usually some kind of energy exchange that's happening and it's continuing. And the angels and the divine helpers are so wonderful in helping us cut the cords. Just talking a little bit about cords, over the years, it's been real interesting. When I first started really consciously working with those energy attachments with people, I had to do it a lot. Like it was like a daily. It was absolutely a daily type of clearing exercise that I would do to myself, and I became so much more familiar with how that worked, even on little things. Like the little things that happen day to day, and now, after working with that a long time, the ones that have been coming up are like big life patterns that were connected. Like last week for me was with my mother.
Right.
There was some energies that we've shared for many, since I was a child, that were very burdening for me especially. And when we went through the ceremony, my whole chest, it took it about 3 days to heal, but I felt this just burning sensation. And it took my body a while to heal from that part of me coming back, which actually, I may not have ever had that part that I recall And some of you out there who go through this exercise may have some of those as well that are very deep, that you may have to be gentle with yourself for a while through the physical part of the healing, because the energetic part can happen real quick, with the conscious intention and a willingness to just give it up, let it go. But it's a really beautiful process to go through and pay attention to.
There's no right or wrong way.
Oh yeah, that's absolutely.
So if you're out there and you're thinking, well, I can't do this, as long as you get the gist of it, just your intent and your thoughts could be enough for you. Visualizing a cord being cut, and immediately saying, I forgive you and I love you to that person. That may be all that's required. So there's no right or wrong way to do it. So don't get hung up in the technicalities of it at all. Just the end result is all you're looking at.
Wouldn't you all agree that all this stuff's really simple?
Mm-hmm. It is.
And I've listened to a lot of different people over the years, and sometimes I've learned now that whenever I get into my head thinking about what's being said or what they're saying, then I just need to stop and just rein it back in, because I'm going too much. I'm thinking about it too much.
At page 271, you're kind of...
Yes. I can just totally zone out, and you wouldn't even know I was zoned out. It's like I could just really just look at you, and still, I guess you would think that I was in the presence of whatever you were talking about. And I can just totally exit myself right out of there.
We'd know the sixth time we said Lee, you know.
Yeah, come on back, Lee. But it's just like in a second, I can just zone it out. Mm-hmm. Because I choose not to have the negativity to go in if I have consciousness of that. And I was, it struck me what you said. I used to get up when I first started on my path, and every morning I went through the same ritual. Every morning.
Yeah.
Every morning. Brought all the lights in, brought all the,
the cords.
I did all of that.
Yeah.
It was just a ritual. But you know what? That ritual got me to where I'm at today. So it's simple. It was simple then. It's just an awakening situation when it's then ingrained within you that you can just totally do it in seconds.
Yeah.
I think a lot. It's kind of like when you're going to start to school. You got to learn your ABCs, and you might think that that's a simple thing, but you have to go through that first to really be able to for it to ingrain within your body to constantly keep doing that. And it can be repetitious, and I think the repetitious part of it, which is a very important thing, especially in a meditation situation in the beginning. In the beginning, I was so strong of meditating every day. I spent at least an hour, 2 hours every day, and I would play the same CD every day to where I could have absolutely done it with, and not even listen to Sylvia Brown, because that's who it was, She did a great meditation. I really got totally into it. And I knew what was coming before I was already there.
Yeah.
But it ingrained me into that. And to today, years later, I can still remember almost every word. And when I have been doing a class in the past, I keep going back to that meditation. I switch it up a little bit with my little take with it, but I still have the core of that meditation that I actually keep as the core part, because I know that if it woke me up at that moment, it's going to wake other people up as well. And whatever that is, it's just a repetitious of listening to it and getting in the practice of doing it on a daily basis. And I will tell you that today, or really in the past, I'd say this year, it has not been that I've been doing meditations every day. I can tell you. That is not what I do every day. But there is numerous moments in that day that I might go a minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, whatever is striking me at that time, or whatever energy that's hitting me at
You
that
have
time.
a meditation moment.
I have a meditation moment. That's exactly right. It is just the moment. Mm-hmm. And so, as you know, my two compadres over here said, there's no right or wrong with this situation. But I think you have to get in your own pattern. Everybody has their own pattern. But if you can actually just go into more in the beginning of going through the repetition of going and making a point to go 30 minutes, 15 minutes, an hour, whatever that is on your day, that's when it really starts. And you'll feel a fire just coming in, you saying, wow, there's something to this. And it doesn't take very long because it's always been in the soul to be there. All you're doing is waking it up. Wake up. Wake up. And it's just amazing. I mean, I'll never forget the first time that I was probably in 2 weeks of the meditation strongly, and I remember my spirit guide touching me. Oh my gosh, I talked about it all the time. To be honest with you, I call him Michael. That's who I named it. Makes no difference what their name is. They don't care. It's whatever you want to name them, you know. But I can remember of sitting in that recliner every day, and I had an imprint in that chair. Telling you, anybody could sit in there could go out in seconds. You know that Michael Lott.
Yes.
Yeah. But it was like when I sat down, and then when he actually came in and just touched me, and I felt it, I thought that was the most blessed day I can remember it to now, and it's been years ago. What a wonderful feeling that was, to where you knew that you had totally connected. And I'm sure on the other side with Michael, he said, finally that woman woke up. I've been trying to knock on that head for years, but she has woken up and know who I am. Thank you. Thank you, you know. And so, I mean, it's applause on both sides. Over on the other side as well as on our side. There's always applause whenever you do the smallest things that is enhancing you and other people for your purpose. It's terrific.
It is.
It's like I'm floating on clouds every day smelling the roses. That's the way I feel.
And you know what? That's a wonderful thought to wrap our show up today with, going into the holiday season. And as we talked about chords and all of that, is finding something to appreciate about family members and the people that you're around over these holiday, you know, just finding something to, if something irritates you, find something instead that you're
Switch your
grateful
mind.
for. There you go.
Just switch
it.
Just switch it. Because the faster that you switch your mind, the faster the thought goes away and it does not hold within you.
Yes.
Absolutely.
It's been wonderful.
It has been. Any final thoughts over there, Michael?
Now, I was just thinking when Lee was telling about the ritual, which is a teaching tool to me, when I learned Reiki, no matter what the person I was working with had, I did the whole procedure. Whole procedure. Then one day, it hit me, spot healing. Just work on the issue.
That's right. Just work on the issue.
Just work on the issue.
That's right.
Because all of the full routines taught you how to connect, and it became spiritual for me. And once it became spiritual, immediately spot healing
You just knew.
came in.
You just knew.
So, but the ritual was needed
Exactly.
to get me to the point where I could do the mini meditation.
I understand.
So whatever you have to do out there for your holidays, for your life, whatever kind of ritual or process that makes you feel good, do it. And when it's time to stop or move on to something else, you'll know.
Absolutely, you know. You will absolutely know, and then you'll just step it up.
There's a movie, real quick, I'm sorry. There's a movie called It's a Wonderful Life with Jimmy Stewart.
Comes on during the season.
Yes.
Christmas Day.
I recommend that if you have not seen that, I watch it every year.
Yes.
And I still cry every year when I watch it. Watch that at least once.
Listen to the bell ring.
Oh, yes.
Cool.
Just listen to your own bell ring.
Ooh, I love that.
And so it is.
So it is. You all have a blessed Thanksgiving holiday week, and we'll talk to you again soon.
We love you, Lord.
And we love you.
Lots of love.
Lots of love.